These are like Sussex heritage breed chickens. They don't lay as much as ordinary brown shavers and highlines and birds that are bred for high laying rates, but they are a hardier bird, they're disease resistant, and they're good looking, smart, stark black and white contrast, healthy, happy birds. They were born and raised on this property in accordance with BioGrow New Zealand organic standards, so the eggs can be sold as organic eggs when the property becomes fully certified, which it will do in June this year, 2017, all things being equal. Just got one audit to go. This guy has got a blue tag because he was curious from a young age. Always followed me around. I noticed there was one bird, or it seemed like one bird, that kept running up to me every time I'd enter the area. So I was curious to find out, was it the same bird? So I tagged him, and yep, sure enough, it's this guy. They reckon the roosters are a bit friendlier or approachable or a bit more sociable, so if there's a bird that tends to follow you around, it's most likely to be a rooster, and sure enough, it was a rooster, and that's him. The only one who's got a tag. Chickens are free to come and go as they please. Door automatically opens and closes. In the summer it opens at 6 AM and closes at 9 PM every day. Like Sussex chickens don't like the wind, so this is a good spot for them because they've got plenty of protection from the wind. There's a windbreak around them, as you can see there. The chicken coop is nestled in amongst the trees up in the top right hand corner of this view. The half pipe you can see in the middle of the shot there with the chicken inside it provides them some protection. They can run under those things if they feel the need, or they can get out of the sun if there's no trees nearby. They do have shade underneath the trees and the flax and so on the background, which they spend a lot of time doing during the day. In various spots around the area there's those half pipes plonked on the ground so they can just snuggle up underneath there. Often there's 2 or 3 in there at the same time, just picking away. There's about 40 birds in this flock, most of them are female. There's 5 or 6 roosters, which means that the majority of the flock are obviously going to be layers when they get to point of lay, which is in another 6 or 8 weeks time. And these birds are all born last winter, so they're all born in late August, early September 2016. And they've got free access to the outdoors for all of the daylight hours every day, because they've got an automatic opening and closing door on their coop, which provides them with nice safe housing in the evening, free from predators. They also have a electric fence around the outside of their compound here, which is 480 square metres for 40 birds, because you need 12 square metres per bird, free ranging with biogrow standards. They also have automatic feeders and waterers inside their coop, and the fence is electrified to keep predators out, so they've got a nice safe environment. You might have noticed some food scraps on the ground that the birds are feeding on. Those have been given to them from the garden. So there's crops that are purpose grown as chicken food, and it's things that typically bok choy, chicken greens. They like silver beet, kale, whatever happens to be in the garden that is either not eaten by myself or is actually purpose grown for the chickens or is surplus, but it's all organic, comes from the same property. And when they've had enough of sitting around, standing around pecking all day, they go and have a nice rest in the shade underneath the flax. Just now these guys have just been given some organic crumble to feed on, which they get on a regular basis. For a start, it's in their automatic feeders as much as they want. Generally a bird will eat 120 to 150 grams of grain a day if you give it to them. But there's various things that the birds can feed on. They don't have to have all grain. Obviously free range birds get all the insects and the grass. They do eat grass, but they don't get much nutrition from the grass. They get vitamins and minerals, but they don't get any protein or anything apart from the grass seeds. They'll eat the grass seeds, but the good thing about grass is that there's insects in it, and they like the insects. Grasshoppers scratch away at bugs and various spiders and what have you that inhabit the grass, so it's quite a nice little ecosystem for them to contribute to there. So they have a balanced diet. They will have access to a biologically active compost pile as well. It hasn't been set up in this feed area yet, but it will be before winter. The birds did a good job, but this spring, late spring, every year there's been a problem with the famous bronze beetle or grass grub. I call it the bronze beetle. I might have the term wrong. It might be another beetle, but I call it the bronze beetle. And it has been a real problem here in recent years. I've had to spray with this, an approved biogrow pyrethrum spray to control the bronze beetle. Otherwise it would have killed the Ulmus rubra shoulderbelt trees, because it just eats the foliage. They come in en masse. They're an amazing feeder. They feed all night, and there were thousands of them. But this year I've got rid of them, and chickens have done it for me.